Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. This is going to be one of my first videos of me moving to this lovely brand new place that is super windy at the moment, so I'm sorry for that. But welcome to the Nature Patch. This is going to be my YouTube channel where I'm sharing all of my garden adventures and my Australian homesteading adventures, I suppose. So I'll probably do a bit of an intro later down the track. My name is Robin, it's so great to meet you. Welcome to my channel. I am a PhD student at the moment studying mine rehabilitation and ecosystem services for the benefits that we receive from nature. Oh, it's so windy! I need to get better at picking my filming days. But this is just a short intro about me. I love gardening, I love plants, I love nature, I love being in nature, and I want to share with that on my channel. So enjoy this video. It's about me moving in here, moving my worm bin in, which is something I'll be doing heaps more in later videos, and showing you a little bit around this beautiful rental property that we have. So thanks so much for coming to my channel and enjoy the video. Alright, so we've got a magical change of appearance. I thought I would do just a little quick garden tour of where I am currently to show you what my setup was like here. So today is the first day that I'm actually going to start moving stuff over to the new place, and I'll take you along the journey of where these things are going to go, where the plants are going to go, what the plan's going to be for the new garden. But first step is taking all of this stuff over, and today I think the first thing I'm going to take over is my worms. So I do have a worm farm and I've had it for about a year now or so. Yeah, about a year I think. And the worms are doing great, but I've actually left them for about 6 or so weeks. I've left them, I haven't been feeding them or anything, and that's purely to just kind of condense everything in there at the moment so it's not as heavy to take. So it's definitely not going to be as full as it usually is, which is great, so I don't have to carry it all. But today I'm going to take apart the compartments and clean it out and move them over to the new place so that I can start feeding them again and they can actually start to have food. So I'm having to do an audio overlay just because it was really loud when I was filming this, but excuse the washing. This is an overview of our backyard townhouse courtyard. It's not too big and I've tried to grow as much as I can, so this is kind of an overlay. The back fence really makes it hard to grow things here because it doesn't let a lot of sunlight in, but I tried my best. So I've got a lemon myrtle that I got for my birthday, and then a few pots here have kind of been ravaged by bush turkeys and possums. That pot used to be filled with dill, and this is a bush apple bush tucker plant, and these are all my peas that unfortunately got super wrecked by bush turkeys. This is my lemon tree that was actually really sick. I think it had aphids and some other damage fungi in the soil, but it is coming back to life now with all of those flower buds setting fruit on them, which is lovely. And yeah, you can see kind of some of the leaf curl and damage there. This patch here that I've sectioned off from the possums had a lot of radishes and lettuce growing, but it just didn't do too well because it didn't get a lot of sunlight. A lot of that is because of this massive big carry tree that we have in the backyard, which is such a gorgeous tree, but it does have a lot of shade with it. Moving over to a few pots over here, I've got some herbs, some peppermint, and some lemon balm, and just some other succulents that I've been trying to transplant. I had to trim the lemon balm and the peppermint, but they're doing a lot better now. And my big rosella tree, which had a lot of fruit on it, and the flowers were just gorgeous, and the bees and the bugs loved them, so I was really happy with that. And then I've got all of my Mediterranean style herbs. I've got lots of thyme, lavender, sage, rosemary and oregano in these 2 boxes here. And then underneath the netting I've got some really lovely parsley and warrigal greens, which are a native spinach to Australia and New Zealand, and some little lettuce that I put in there as well. So moving on behind there, I've got a nice grevillea in a pot and some mint and chives. Up the back I tried to grow some spring onion and onions, but they completely failed because of no sunlight. I've also got some carrots growing in a pot just to see how they do. And then I had a awesome pineapple plant which had the most sweetest, beautiful pineapple with it. It was so yum. And I tried to grow things over there. It didn't work as well. There just wasn't enough sunlight in the place. And in the veggie pot, it also didn't get a lot of sun, but I did have some awesome kale growing and tried to grow some lettuce and radishes, but that didn't work. So now I am undoing my worm bin. So it's got a few compartments that I'll show you how that all works. And yeah, this is nicely sped up for you. Alright, so these are the three components of it. So you've got the lid here. So this is where all of the fruit and veggie scraps go in, and then that's the second layer, and this is the third layer. And pretty much it all just kind of seeps down. So I've had a little bit of a problem with some little tiny little bugs, little mites that get in, but I haven't really worried about it too much. And if you do have this problem, you can also just add more dry ingredients in. So like compost, worms need a mixture of dry and wet. I'm just going to wait for this plane. So I think the first step I'm going to do is empty the layers layer by layer and put them into separate containers and just cart it all over and then put it back together when I get there. Really simple. So I'm going to start with the first layer and then put all of that into a bucket, and that's going to have most of the worms in it. So I want there to be a little bit of food in there so that they have something to eat. So many worms. And this is kind of an indication of how many worms there are. Oh my god. So many. So many worms. The top layer is pretty much done. I have filled up a massive bucket full of wormy goodness. A lot of this is already broken down, so technically I could pretty much just put it onto the garden or mix it in with some soil and it'd be great compost, but I'm going to keep a lot of it to start them back up when I move them, just so that they're all kind of intact and don't freak out as much. Is the layer here. And I've already taken a lot out a few weeks ago. And then see on the sides here, there's a lot of decomposed goodness that I'm also going to keep as the worm casting layer. And I'm going to put all of this into this container here, which I had previously filled up to the top. I'm also draining the final layer, which this is the worm pea layer. And this has also got worm castings in it as well, and this works by a little nozzle here, and you just turn it on and off and it drains it in there. Alright, welcome to our new place. This is our backyard that I'm standing in now at the new place. So we just moved some plants over and the worm bin that you would have previously seen me unpacking to the new place here. So we're on about just under a 1/4 acre, which is this backyard here. So I'll show you how I am putting together the worm bin, and then I think on another day I'll do a walk around the garden and share with you some of my dreams for this space here, some of the garden ideas, some of the animal ideas that I'd like to have, and just a general mini plan of what I would like to do with this garden space, and I have so much space, which is amazing. Right, let's get building this worm bin. This is over in the corner of the back patio. I've got the two top compartments here, oh sorry, the top compartment there and the two bottom compartments here. I'm only going to be putting the worms and their food into the top one, and then I'm going to be using some wet cardboard to separate the other layers so the worms don't go traveling around. Alright, so the worms are all safely in their home now. My camera is flashing, so I need to charge the battery. But it's as simple as that, just really taking out the first layer and making sure they don't kind of sink down into these bottom few layers. You want to keep them up the top after they've moved and there's not anything in the bottom two layers, or else they're going to go down and have no food. So I have all of my worm poo ready in here with a few worms that I'm going to put into my raised garden beds when I set them up, so that can stay there. Delicious compost. This pretty much concludes one of my first videos for the channel, and kind of the first garden tour, and also seeing how I moved my worm bin. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. The next few videos are going to be moving videos and planning videos. So pretty much all of this space behind me in front of the house, I'd like to have raised garden beds there to have all of my fresh vegetables and herbs pretty close to the kitchen. So planning is definitely something that I need to do, which my mum is thankfully going to help me. And then I also need to build the beds, plan what's going in. It's not really the best time to be planting things as we are going into winter here in Australia, but thankfully in southeast Queensland where we live, we can still grow a lot of greens, a lot of kale, broccoli, those kinds of things over winter. Because of the move, I will probably be doing a lot of plant starts rather than planting from seed. And then the following season, spring and going on to summer, I'll be planting a lot from seed. Really excited to see how this garden is going to progress, and I'm really excited to share my journey on my YouTube channel. I've met so many people through my Instagram page, and I'd love to meet any more people on the world of YouTube who also have amazing gardens as well. It's such a nice community, and I get so much inspiration from so many people out there. So I hope I can share my journey and you can learn a little bit from me as well. So thanks so much for watching this video, and look forward to many more. Bye!